Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. And I am Josh, as usual. And with me is Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up?
Who is currently looking up who Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sarah Jessica Parker's character's name is in Sex and the City. We only watched that show like 20 episodes ago. Why would we know that?
Everyone listening to this knows the name already.
Everybody?
I mean, I feel like so many people are going, "Oh my god, how do you not know that it's this?"
I'm sure most people are just like, why are you looking
It is
up?
Carrie Bradshaw.
Sam?
It is Carrie.
Scary Terry Bradshaw.
Scary Terry. That's what they call her. The nickname on the show.
Sherry Bradshaw.
Now I'm just Googling Terry Bradshaw.
How did we start talking about sex? Oh, because I said Sex in the City, the movie, might be more scarier than Shaun of the Dead, the movie. Because Jimmy somehow wished Shaun of the Dead into existence to be on Netflix.
Yeah, Jimmy wished something else.
I wish we would start this podcast.
Well, I mean, the bread bars are moving. It's recording.
I mean, okay, and we're recording, but
Wish
all right.
granted.
Well, hey, here's a question I probably haven't asked Joe in a long
just being
time.
a dick.
Hey, Joe, how does this podcast work?
Oh, we, funny enough, watch the first and last episode of a TV show and talk about it. Watch the first episode, make some predictions, see if they happen in the last, laugh together, love together.
Cry.
Just living life.
Bury the body together
Bury
Hopefully.
the body of this show together.
forever. Well, hey, show we're watching today, Joe found out because he peeped my computer screen.
I cheated.
But Jimmy, you don't know yet.
Isn't it Sex and the City?
It's not. We're not.
I know we did that already.
No, we're just rewatching. You're right. We're just rewatching Sex and the City.
Doing it again.
I don't really remember, so.
I'm gonna watch the second episode of Sex and the City and the second to last, the penultimate.
Man.
No, we're watching a TV show called Limitless.
Limit break.
Nope.
Outbreak.
Is this the
Nope.
one where
The
like
Kevin Spacey.
guy takes a pill and he like can think really fast or something? Or
I mean, yes, essentially. It was based on the movie of the same name.
with what's his name? With the
Here's the deal.
Matt Damon.
When I think of that movie, because I don't know if this is accurate or not. When I
Yeah.
think of the movie Limitless, I thought it was Black Widow. What's her name? Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm.
And
Natasha.
The guy who narrates everything great,
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Do you think of that movie?
Yeah, because he's like, you only use 10% of your brain, and I feel like,
Oh, that's that. Okay.
what was
yeah.
that movie?
I don't remember, but like
I saw that. It was all right.
that was like an action movie or something.
I don't know, but it was like a
Yeah.
movie where she used more of her brain.
She was basically Black Widow.
But that's what this is, right? Is you take some sort of pill and you use
Yeah.
more of your brain?
So essentially,
And you're Bradley Cooper?
before we go, so is that Bradley Cooper in that movie?
Yeah, I think it's Bradley Cooper in the movie. He takes the pill.
It is, so it stars some dude as Brian, what's his name? Jake McDorman, whoever that guy is.
Cool.
All
We'll
right.
find out in the pilot. As Brian Finch, who discovers the power of mysterious nootropic drug by the name of NZT48. This drug unlocks the full potential of the human brain and gives its user enhanced mental faculties.
Cool.
So that is the Scarlett Johansson movie as well.
Yeah.
Except I don't know if she took like a pill or a drug. I think maybe she was just a person. I don't know.
She just tried really hard.
I haven't seen the Scarlett Johansson movie, and I haven't seen the Limitless movie either.
She gets like kidnapped, and they like take like harvest an organ or something. Or no, they put she becomes like some sort of weird drug mule, but then the drugs are like getting into her bloodstream or something. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah.
And then she
is it
becomes
called
part of the Matrix.
Lucy?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
and the sky with diamonds.
So either way, like it opens up your mind, but what does that even mean? You're using your whole brain makes you smarter, or what?
I think it plays off that old like
Gives you abilities.
because I'm pretty confident that whole like adage of like you only use 10% of your brain kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's not true at all.
Not at all. No.
It's not true at all.
We
Yeah,
know
let
a
me
lot
just-
more about
Let me
brains
just carve
now.
out 30% of your brain and see if you're still fine.
I think it meant like at a time you're only 10% of your like neurons are firing
Yeah.
or something, but
Still not true. If I were to like snap my fingers, like your whole brain would just light up.
right.
Just because you experienced that in like
No
a
joke.
million different ways.
Only
Right.
10% of my brain lights up.
Yeah, right before that though, you're only using like 3%, so it averaged out.
Averaged to 10% per moment.
Also, this is also exactly the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta.
He
Wait,
uses
what?
most of his brain.
He thinks.
Can he like
In that
Have you
movie-
not seen that movie?
In
I
that,
think I have. Does he move stuff with his mind or something?
Yeah,
or?
he moves. He becomes like telekinetic.
in that movie, John Travolta gets injected with Scientology. And he cannot move out
he,
of
he,
He gets all the theta.
he gets all
or
kind of
whatever.
like powers and stuff because he thinks it's because he has cancer.
Yeah. So, but that's not this though, right? It's not that he gets powers. He just is superhuman, right?
No, he takes that, whatever this drug is.
Yeah, but he can't like move stuff with his mind, right?
It says
Or
it
no?
gives
There's no
his-
limit.
It says it gives him enhanced mental faculties.
Well, let's. I mean,
And
There's
also,
no limit
let's
to
talk-
what
I
he
mean,
can do.
the limits are less.
yeah, there's not no limits. They're just less of the limits.
Wait.
Yeah,
what?
it's not one word. It's not It's
When
not.
you
It's not limitless. It's
Yeah.
limit
hyphen
So
less.
I mean, like none of us have seen this TV show or
No.
movie, right? So what do you think? Do you think he moves stuff with his mind, or do you think he's just really good at quick math?
I mean, I want. He just the guy was like struggling to do a crossword on the bus in the first scene of the first episode, and then in like the last scene in the last episode, he's just like speed reading the shit out of some stuff.
Yeah. Like, is that it? He just thinks of stuff faster.
I'm assuming that
He doesn't have a thing where you're like, what was the character's name in Sex and the City?
No, he remembers
That just
it.
never
It's just-
happens
yeah,
now.
he just knows now. He just develops a
Well,
photographic
maybe he
memory.
should get a podcast.
I could see how we'd get into sci-fi ish stuff where he gets like
Oh yeah.
telekinesis or like mind reading power. Like I think
The
it's
show-
all mind stuff, not like he's not
Yeah.
gonna get like strength.
Yeah.
But
The show is called Limitless.
I could-
It's gonna have sci-fi.
I could see how they could say like, oh, your mind, like everything's in your mind, and then like he could think about how he wants to be strong, and then he could be strong. That's stupid, but
Yeah,
I bet
right.
I could see something stupid like that.
I
happening.
totally could. How like if you fire off certain neurons, you could like punch in a certain way that you could just kill a man. Or
Oh, is it gonna
I
have
mean,
like
moms
those?
can lift cars and stuff.
You know that?
there you go.
You know that?
It's because they're
He
using
just
all
figures
their
out how to
brains.
do that.
the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie where he
Yeah.
like thinks of everything that he can do
Oh,
like
yeah.
really fast, and then it's like a slow motion thing, and
I
then
do
the
this,
scene
and then it causes
and then
this.
the scene plays out fast
No.
perfectly.
Mhm.
I wonder if we're gonna get one of those.
There's also a Marvel character that does that. That's his powers.
Thinking real
like
good.
He
Foresight?
can predict things. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's why he's a good fighter.
Who are you? I'm the thing. I
He's an
think real good.
inhuman.
Explain your power. I think things through. All right, cool. All right, man.
Oh, good for
Nice.
you. I mean, what is this? Is this guy? You think this guy's like a lab tech or like something like that in this? And then he just kind of, some tomfoolery happens, and he
Drops
gets
a test tube.
and he like gets injected
Becomes
or
the
like
Hulk.
yeah.
No, he's got to be some sort of dummy, right? Because then, if he like worked in a lab, like it wouldn't
He
be
could've
as
been,
big of a
like-
deal, right?
Well, that's why I said like
Could have been
lab
like an
tech.
intern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's a college student.
I never said he was a doctor.
I think he's getting college credit.
Or
in
like
this
yeah,
first
or like
episode.
yeah, he's like something silly, or like he's like a bike messenger,
Yeah.
and he like falls off his bike into a puddle of ooze,
Uh-huh.
becomes a Ninja Turtle, becomes Limitless Leonardo Turtle.
So, I mean, even if you open up all of your brain and you have good foresight, like if you were to use it for knowledge, you would still need to like take time to read books and stuff, right?
yeah, I would
So
be really.
you'd
it'd
read
be
Do we
them
get a
real fast.
montage?
He gets-
Yeah, maybe he could read really fast. Do we get a montage of him just like flipping through books and he's just like, all right, got it. I know everything about like Greek history. And I'll
Oh, I
flip
think
through
for
another
sure
book.
we get a montage in here. I think it's gonna be more than this. I think it's gonna be also like learning chess. He's got chess going.
I guess it could be very powerful to know a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because then he gets into any situation and he's just like, oh, I can defuse this bomb because I, spent 15 minutes learning how to defuse bombs and now I know how to do it.
You know
Yeah.
when like they do movies where robots become like sentient and
Yeah.
then they like sit in front of a computer screen and the computer screen's just like flashing images really, really fast, like they're like studying. That is going to happen in the first episode of this show. That he's going to be sitting at a computer and it's going to be like that, and he's just going to be like, I know everything.
Okay, I guess having all of the world's knowledge could be, a power.
Oh, it's definitely power.
To be able to know
Knowledge is power.
how
I
to
don't know
handle-
if you know that, Joe.
how to handle any situation, technical or social, because he has that foresight. So he could just he just like becomes president.
I think he's going to go down a dark path with it at first.
I hope he continues down that dark path through the whole show. I hope this is a supervillain show.
All right. Okay.
Because maybe he learns to he learns how to rig roulette or something and uses his mind to win a bunch of money.
I think he's gonna have a hard decision to make about being a good guy. I think he's gonna maybe like seduce a woman because he now knows everything about seduction. I don't know where I was. He's probably gonna rob something.
Well, his mind works so well, he can now smell and
gonna rob an
secrete the
ATM.
correct pheromones or something.
Oh, he creates
Man,
pheromones?
he has total physical control of his own testosterone.
Wow.
Wonder if he can like
Same.
If you know a lot, yeah. I mean, if you're using all your brain, that means you can control all your body, right?
one would assume.
He's probably gonna be like super regular. He's gonna be really fit. Suddenly,
What if he never has to go to the bathroom because he like controls all the waste?
he's
he gets rid of. He just
He's at
meditates it away or something.
100% efficiency
Yeah,
for food.
Well, he's
He just sweats it all out when he has to pee.
What are you doing?
He's like, this is definitely better than peeing. It's just leaving my body through my
I
skin.
was like, man, I was watching a
Yikes.
movie next to you, and you really smelled
He
weird
just,
for like
re-
a little
just
bit of time.
reeks. All right, based on what we've said here, I want to watch this show. I'm gonna be real disappointed when it's not all these things.
I would be surprised if he didn't seduce a woman. I think you're right.
Do I get a point when it happens? Also, when he's a college intern.
He's a bike messenger. Should we dive into it and essentially most likely see this man's origin story?
Sure.
Because I assume that's what's happening. Can we
Yeah.
all agree on that? Probably.
I
You think
love-
he's gonna have his powers right away, or you think he's gonna be an
No
origin
way.
story?
I love origins.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna dive into this potential origin story, and we'll be back after the pilot of Limitless, which I believe is titled Pilot, because confirmed pilot. All right. See you after that. And we're back from the pilot of Limitless. Are we limitless, boys?
Yep.
We are without limit.
Completely opened my mind. I remember everything.
I thought that was fun. Jim, you got it right up for us?
Yeah.
Do it. Do you?
Okay. Yeah. When his father becomes seriously ill, Brian Finch realizes he has not reached the goals that he had set for his life. His friend Eli offers him a pill of NZT, which helps Brian excel in his temp job and discover the true nature of his father's disease. When Brian finds Eli dead from a gunshot, he becomes the main suspect in an FBI murder investigation. Looking for more NZT, Brian tracks down one of Eli's coworkers and gets shot in the leg by the real murderer. He passes out. Yeah. He passes out and awakes to find himself with Senator Eddie Mora, a.k.a. Bradley Cooper, who offers him access to both NZT and a drug to counter its dangerous side effects, on the condition that he will not tell the FBI. The FBI wants to find out who created NZT and how to counter the side effects, and FBI agent Rebecca Harris offers Brian a consultant position with the Bureau. Brian insists that they first help his father get an immediate liver transplant. Agent Harris reveals a personal reason behind her involvement in the investigation. She suspects that her father was using NZT before he was found dead in a river.
Just shows that NZT doesn't help you know how to swim.
Huh.
Presumably that's how her father died. He
Yeah.
just drowned in the...
It's just the one thing that it doesn't do.
You actually can't swim when you're on it.
It's just really heavy.
You just, like, for some reason don't have that motor skill anymore. Yeah. And so the guy who plays Brian is just some dude. Like, I've never seen him before. I don't know if anyone have.
No.
Oh.
I didn't
He's got a
recognize him.
real like the rebel guy from the OC.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
He's got
What the
a
heck's his
that
name?
guy kind of vibe.
Okay.
Is that
Ryan from the OC?
Ryan.
the guy who's on Gotham now, who's Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Nice.
And then the FBI lady is the girl who plays Dexter's sister in Dexter.
Is she also a serial killer? Spoiler.
Not in that show.
So it seems
What
like
other
those,
show is she?
I don't know what she does in her real life.
well,
She could
those
be-
two are gonna
Fair
be
enough.
like the main characters, huh?
I'd assume, yeah, I assume so. Those are kind of the man and the lady.
And they're gonna like solve crimes together. It kind of bummed me out that by the end of this show it's just like, oh, and this is just a weekly crime drama.
No, I turned to you like in the last 5 minutes, and I was like, so this is just like he's just gonna solve crimes now?
Yeah, it's just like CSI drug addict.
Hey, you're the smartest human in the world now. You want to just solve crimes on a weekly basis,
Want to help me out with some FBI work?
right? I hope every once in a while he's like, yeah, I just invested in like Apple and I made like a gajillion dollars today.
Oh, he can time travel now?
Well, he just knows. He knows like
Oh, he can
He-
understand the market.
if he invests 9 in the morning, he knows that by 3 p.m. like Apple went up like $18 that day, kind of thing.
because of all the things that he knows.
Because he knows things.
And he can draw connections.
So I mean,
You
obviously,
play Frogger.
never saw the movie, but I wonder if in the movie it's the pill thing. So let's go. He hung out with Bradley Cooper because I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was a fun little like the show was like 2/3 of the way done, and all of a sudden Bradley Cooper's got a scene.
And then like they said like, oh, back in 2011, and that's when the movie like came out. So I
Gotcha.
don't know if it took place in 2011 or whatever, it must have. And then Bradley Cooper was like, he's like a senator. Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's a senator.
And then so he meets with the Brian guy, and he was like, hey, I can give you these pills. And more importantly, he can give him like an antidote that makes all the hangover, bad cramp stuff from the pills go away.
Yeah.
So then all he has to do is he can just take a pill a day, and then he can take that shot every once in a while and
Yeah.
not feel bad.
From what we've seen from what Brian goes through, he's like high on this drug for like 12 hours, and then at the end he's just got like real bad withdrawals. Which is just like not feasible if you're gonna like keep doing this every day.
Right. I mean, could you take it? Could you like pop a pill and then at like the 11-hour 45-minute mark pop another one, and you just would never feel the withdrawal?
I don't know. You might just lose your mind.
Yeah, they were also doing like they had like pictures of CT scans at the bureau. That like how insane like the effects were on your brain. So
Yeah.
probably not a good situation either way.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It seems I didn't really catch this show was on in 2016. And I think Bradley Cooper mentioned that he had been like taking it for 4 years or something like that. So he seemed like he had been like on this regular like scenario where his brain may be going insane, but he seemed like he was fine.
Yeah, no, he's clearly fine. It's those shots that are keeping him fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that this is in the movie universe, though. I think
Yeah.
it's just kind of fun that they got like the ability to do that.
Sure.
They didn't just like make another show, call it Limitless, and essentially just did the exact same thing as the movie, but just it had no connections.
Mm-hmm.
I always like it when they do that. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I also wrote one of my notes just as Bradley Cooper is God. because basically feel like he had like glowing blue eyes.
Yeah.
And he just like said
it's
stuff.
some weird White Walker eyes.
That's just how he looks.
He just said some stuff so matter of factly. I was like, you're just legitimately like a deity, and yet you're just pretending to be human in a way, which is fun. So I hope that gets real weird later. I don't assume that he's going to be in much of this show, but
yeah. So it the power of the drug, it was pretty much what we thought it was, where you're just able to learn and comprehend things super fast. But what, like, or at least what I didn't think about, was that it allows you to just recall any sort of little memory that you've seen. Like, one of the ways that they show it is like he's looking through one of the files and he recognizes one of the faces from like a newspaper article that he was just like pouring drugs over one time. Like, it wasn't even a thing that like he had really processed in his mind, but his eyes had seen it and had kept somewhere in his mind, and he's able to draw that connection. So like anything he's ever heard or seen, even if he didn't really process it, he just knows about now.
Yeah, I don't think that's how memory works.
You don't think your eyes and ears just soak up everything and tucks it somewhere in your brain?
You mean since like we're sitting in this room with a big world map, and I've seen this map like 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. I just know where every city in the world is. Like,
yeah, because you've seen it. Because you've seen the map.
You can say, like, where's like Real? Mm-hmm. Just making up like what a.
You'd be like, that's not a real city.
No, it's not a real city. Don't even try.
Can't trick me. So he's got a lot of like built-in skills that he's just remembering. Plus, he read an entire like medical dictionary, so he's able to diagnose his dad.
I mean, he definitely spent, less than 12 hours, because he had already been on the drug for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then he just sat on the floor for like a couple hours and read a bunch of books, and then like diagnosed his dad completely. Yeah. With like something like people that have been studying for their entire lives couldn't figure out. So you definitely have a pretty solid learning curve when you have this.
Yeah. Kind of the limit, I guess you would say.
Oh no.
Yeah, I forgot there's no limits.
No limit.
The farthest reach of the pill was that he said that there was a part where he started to do some parkour, and right before he did his parkour, he said, like, what if you could like look into your memories and know exactly how much grip you have in your hands? And he used that to be able to like parkour his way down this like fire escape. It's like by knowing that he's not going to lose grip when he like jumps down and grabs on.
Yeah, it's like essentially imagine you know exactly what you're capable of at any given time.
Yeah.
Not that you're stronger because you're taking the pill, it's just that you know exactly what you can do.
Yeah. So he's just not going to make a mistake when he like does physical stuff, because
so it's not that he's limitless. It's just that he knows his limits.
Fully aware of his limits.
Yeah. Switching the show name. I'm fully aware of my limits.
There's a part where he's down in the subway and the FBI is about to catch him, and so he jumps onto the tracks, and he explains that he like even though there's a train coming, he knows that the train conductor is going to hit the brakes, and he knows how much. Like, because he remembers trigonometry and he knows like where the train's gonna stop, but there's so many like variables in that.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make him know how much the train's mass is, or like
what if there's a few less people on the train? What if the guy doesn't see him and doesn't stop?
But he did say because then he recalls all the documentaries he watched.
Oh,
which is funny because it's like, well, what if you watch the math in the documentary? Like, you watched a documentary about trains or something, it was like, your typical subway train weighs 20 tons. And he's like, all right, got that.
This guy doesn't even really seem like a documentary guy.
Not at all.
I don't think he's watching a bunch of documentaries about trains.
You don't think all that weed he, like, shoot off that paper was not from, like a night of just being high as hell and watching documentaries?
No, I bet this guy, even before the drug, knows every line of SpongeBob SquarePants.
There's nothing wrong with that. So.
Yeah, it was.
R.I.P.
I was trying to figure out, like, in this first thing, he was like, oh, my parents aren't like proud of me, and like my friends like quit our band, and like they're all like successful.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. And I was like, am I supposed to feel bad because this guy's just kind of a piece of shit? Like he just
Right.
like he's like totally fine. He's got a good
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, he's
Like,
only kind of a piece of shit.
there's-
Like he's just
there's just like nothing. There's nothing.
Which is worse.
There's nothing about him that doesn't mean he can't be successful. It's just that he literally never applied himself ever.
yeah.
And then is like now he's like talking about like he wasn't a band. Then he's like goes to family dinner. Is like, yeah, I'm working on this big project. And they're like, cool. Can I listen to it? And he's like, oh, it's not like ready yet. And it's
Yeah.
like you didn't even do it. Now you're just lying about doing the lazy shit you used to do.
Mm. Yeah, I like that the peak of like showing what a scrub this dude is. He's like, oh, he's in a band, or he used to be until everybody left, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm in a band or have been in bands that have just kind of just like fallen apart, and it's just sort of like, yeah, that happens.
But did you stop working on your job, like doing your real job in real life, and like not do anything? And you're just like, oh, one day I'll just get back on that band.
Brian's got a
bandwagon.
job. He got a temp job, looking at files or something.
So does he just get to sit around because the lady told him it was going to take him 2 weeks to do his temp job, but he did it in 2 hours?
Yeah.
He also said it took me.
I'm pretty
He
sure.
goes, it took me 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, but what about the 4 hours you slept in the morning or whatever? Technically,
point.
that took you 6 hours.
Good point.
But does he get to work there for the next? Does he get paid? Does he, like, if he was so smart, did he not like make it look like he still had work to do? You know,
Well, now he's just gonna like fix other stuff at that
Yeah,
company.
he doesn't
or
need
whatever.
money anymore. He's limitless.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna sleep with that girl that he was talking to at the company.
I'm sure that's like in an edited scene that's not shown on CBS.
It's on
Director's cut.
Showtime after midnight.
Bradley Cooper's personal cut,
Oh God.
never released. There's a 3-way with Bradley Cooper.
The character's not even introduced yet.
but you know.
You know,
You get it though, because it's Bradley Cooper, and you're just like, okay, I can see how this could happen.
that dick is limitless.
Oh man.
Uh,
So in the movie, did you know Robert De Niro was in the movie?
no,
No, Jimmy, I haven't seen the movie.
I've not seen the movie, Jimmy.
I knew Bradley Cooper was in the movie.
Yeah, I mean you hadn't seen it, but you knew
Are you
Bradley
looking
Cooper
at
was in it.
accidentally looking at Silver Linings Playbook?
That's a great movie. Wait,
Did
is
you know
Robert
that?
De Niro in
Did
that?
you know that in
Yeah.
Did you know that Limitless? Bradley Cooper was a animated raccoon.
How many movies are Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro in together?
Robert De Niro played Groot.
I know that was Vin Diesel.
No, Robert De Niro played Vin Diesel playing Groot.
No, Robert De Niro was the motion capture. Vin Diesel was the voice.
He was just the tree.
They just paid Robert De Niro an insanely large amount of money to mocap the Groot.
A giant tree. Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was funny that this show starts out with like him running from the FBI, and then like they do a freeze frame and like record scratch, and he's like, "So you're probably wondering how I got here."
Oh man,
That was a little jarring.
that was
And then
awful.
they like go back like 2 weeks earlier to him, whatever. It's
That
just
was-
like it's just such a like joke of a meme that like I don't know the last time I saw that in a real TV show.
Hey guys, my name's Brian, and welcome to my TV show.
That was real
I
bad.
would say
Is this just how all CBS shows are? Are they just like this wacky?
I would say the show went uphill largely after that. But
Yeah.
man, whew, that was a valley. That was a valley.
Yeah, and then it dove at the end when I like when we saw the skeleton, the lining of this show. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a weekly crime show. Got it.
Oh, this is just Bones, except he's smart.
Yeah.
This is just NCIS with drugs.
The
That was kind of a
director of
bummer.
this episode is the director of 500 Days of Summer.
Jimmy, we're talking about this show, not other movies.
Bradley Cooper directed 500 Days of Summer. That's crazy.
I wish.
No, but
I
he
wouldn't
was
be
he
surprised.
was EP.
Didn't
goes-
Bradley Cooper direct like new movies got out?
Oh yeah, the Star one,
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah, new Star Wars.
the one with that was about the wars in space.
Yeah, Star Wars was born.
Star Wars are born.
This guy also directed the Amazing Spider-Man, the Garfield one,
Oh, great.
the one with the cat.
The one with
Garfield.
the cat.
Yeah, do you remember the one where Garfield dressed up as Spider-Man and was voiced by Bill Murray?
He also directed a My
Garfield.
Chemical Romance music video.
All right, you are just not helping us be on topic.
What
right
are we?
now.
What are we talking about?
We're talking
Helena?
about Limitless, the TV show.
Ah,
Was it
he did an
the
Avril
ghost
one,
of
too.
you? Anyways. Those are the
What
notes
do we
I
got?
had.
I've seen how long.
I had 3 notes, and it was just that. Yeah, I just wanted to remember that it makes you good at memory and makes you good at parkour.
My
It's true.
notes, man, I had some weird notes. I had one note that said the editing has a weird Crank vibe. Did you ever see that Jason Statham movie? That was also about drugs and being on them,
Cool.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
no,
was
that's
not
drugs.
yeah.
Crank.
It was about the drug Crank. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was like
Checks out.
I think it was something like he couldn't like stop moving or he'd die. It was like Speed, but
His
you're
heart
a
was
human.
looking to explode or
It was
something.
like Speed, but you're the bus.
Hmm.
Is what-
This felt like a shitty TV crime Crank to me,
okay.
and that's a terrible movie. So it's saying saying a lot.
Yeah, it's like a dumb fun movie though.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like a Fast and the Furious. You don't go on the Fast and Furious thing, and it's gonna be like you're gonna go home and like tell everybody that this was like the film of the year. Like it's,
Sure.
but you're gonna go home and go like, damn, that was fun,
I had a good time.
man. Did you see Vin Diesel punch the Rock? That was crazy.
I got
I
cranked.
haven't seen that one.
And then they got cranked. Did you see me cranked?
Just see the limits on.
Did you see all those limits? Those limits were cranked.
We're broken.
Crankless,
Crank.
starring Liam Neeson. My other note was like Agent Harris, Rebecca Harris's boss,
Mhm.
is someone, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, maybe is how you say her last name.
Okay.
She's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Scarface. She was in Perfect Storm. She was in an episode of Frasier, apparently.
Great actress.
She was Maid Marian in Kevin Costner's The Robin Hood.
Oh.
Her name was Marian and something else too. I forget now. Anyway, she's been in like real movies and stuff.
Cool.
I mean, so is Bradley Cooper, and he was in this.
Good point.
Did you
She's
get
also been in like all
What
the other
what did
crime.
what did her character do in this? She was just the FBI boss.
She was just like, hey, get the case done, eh?
She was the one Rebecca Harris was trying to like convince that he was a good guy,
Okay.
and she's shown they're looking at his CT scans that his brain's not messed up because he got the shot thing, but they don't know that. They think he's. That's one thing that the write-up didn't say. They think he's immune to it. They don't know that he's getting help from Bradley Cooper.
Mm-hmm. Why is Bradley Cooper helping him?
Don't know, because there
Why
was
not?
3 other dudes that were taking it, and he apparently wasn't helping them,
Yeah.
or it doesn't seem like he was,
Mhm.
as far as the information we got.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Maybe
I mean,
he's the big bad and he has
mean,
some ulterior motives.
the reason why he's helping them is plot device, you know. But
He said something like, "Oh, I'm doing this because I need a person in your position," or something like that.
it
And
sounded
you'll
like
find out later.
it sounded like he needed someone to like take over for him or something at some point.
He's building like a super soldier army of limitless dudes or something.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't
Getting
know,
a bunch
maybe-
of people
maybe.
addicted.
Because I feel like if I had like this limitless drug, I would not give it to anybody else. It'd just
Right?
be mine.
And if you did, you definitely wouldn't give him the other part that makes him like take it. I was like, yeah, you can
Yeah.
take this, but you're gonna feel like shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what is it worth it to you? You
Mhm.
know, like I give you 6 months and you're gonna be dead, no matter how smart you are.
Hmm.
And then when he's like, "How come it doesn't affect you?" You're just like, "I don't know, man.
You think
I
the
just, I
whole
can just take it. Be a
the-
man about it."
the whole Limitless movie is just him making an antidote, and then it's just like, now it's the TV show.
In the movie, you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's actually what happened,
Oh.
but it'd be funny. And they're like, God, this is boring. This is this guy working in a lab. Overall, before we get into predictions, overall, good, bad, as a first episode.
I mean, yeah, it was a clear setup. Like by the end of the episode, I knew. I feel like I can write you the descriptions
Do
of
you-
every
To
episode,
your dismay, you know what the show's
Yeah.
about.
and I feel like that. That's good for this pilot, but it doesn't speak well for the rest of the show. At least for what I'm expecting. Maybe it completely blows my expectations. Who knows?
I mean, I assume they're just going to take one out of like the X-Files handbook, where there's going to be every episode's going to be like a cold open now with like a crazy death.
Oh.
Or a crazy something, something crazy happens, and then it's
parkour.
Oh, it's the case of the weather balloon this week.
I think every episode opens with him like solving something dumb. Like there's that screenshot of him like solving 2 Rubik's cubes.
Oh yeah.
I bet that's one episode. I bet another one.
Doing.
Yeah, another one is him just
you think 42 minutes of one week is just him going, all right, let's do one, and he does 1 Rubik's cube, and then he's like, I think I can do 2, and then he goes 2. He's like, how do I do 3? I only got 2 hands. And it's like him trying to figure out how to do.
He takes his pants off, and then the credits roll.
Just spins it on his pee-pee. Is that what you're? Yeah,
what was it? I want to know what what your other thought was that he was doing.
Maybe he's like playing Trivial Pursuit with his friends, and none of them are having fun.
Kicking their ass. Yeah, that
sounds
awesome.
He's playing Monopoly when he made his like own tower because he's like, I'm so good at Monopoly I can get better than like hotels.
He's just playing Disney Scene It.
Playing Disney Scene It by himself.
Yeah,
because his friends
because he doesn't have any friends
anymore.
He doesn't play. He's like, I can't play poker.
He really seems like he really
risky.
doesn't have any friends.
He plays Disney Scene It because he feels like the characters are talking to him and he feels like he's alive. Is that why you play it?
That's why I play.
Different reasons.
All right, should we get into predictions?
Yeah.
All right. Jimmy?
Number 1, banging Rebecca. They're banging.
That's the FBI agent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, I think Finch dies in this episode.
Finch dies in the end.
Yep. I think number 3, no Brad. I think they've written him out.
I mean, I just assumed he was in this episode, and we probably don't.
Yeah, I don't
see
think
him
you
anyway.
ever need. I think they reference him like a lot, but he is always working through some middle person or whatever to get his shot, and he's just like, "Oh, where's Senator What's her face?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, he's being a senator
They
somewhere."
get like a deep throat character to like be the go between.
Yeah. And then number 4, I think the like big bad. I think there's a big bad, but I think he's like a NZT taken guy, and is like, but he doesn't have the shot, and it's like ravaged his body, and he's just like in a wheelchair, and like all his hair is falling out, but he's like really smart. He's
like
basically Patrick Stewart. He's basically Professor X.
Just like evil Professor X.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I mean, basically he's Samuel Jackson from like Unbreakable, except really, really smart or smarter.
Yeah.
Because it's ravaged his body so much, it's just like withered and weak.
Yeah.
But he's like super smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Mr. Glass.
Yeah, I think
the bad guy's Mr.
number
Glass.
5, I think Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in this episode.
Love it.
God, that'd be amazing.
Joe?
I have that Brian is clean shaven. I think that his scruff that he had in this episode was indicative of how much of a loser he is. But now that he's smart, he's gonna shave his face.
Watch what you say. Bradley Cooper's got scruff.
He had a well manicured beard.
Okay, sure.
I have that Rebecca is now popping NZT.
So everyone's doing the drugs.
Yeah, so they're both on it. I have that there's a plot to assassinate Bradley Cooper. I think that's the case they're solving in this one.
The case to kill the raccoon.
And then the last one I have is that they say the word limitless in this.
I like that. That's fun. All right, I kind of like this because I think all of ours are pretty different.
Yeah.
Except for one where me and Jimmy both agree that he's dating the FBI lady Rebecca.
Nice.
I wrote dating the FBI lady, and then about 5 seconds later, I was like, I know her name, actually. I should write this down. I think NZT is released to the public.
Ooh, interesting.
like
Just
it's on the
everybody's taking it.
streets being sold, or
It's just in the
it's
water
a,
supply.
it's a pharmaceutical.
Yeah, you know how fluoride's in the water? I think it's just NZT now.
like
Oh
an
my
over the
God.
counter, or
I think it's if you want it, you can get it.
okay.
And it's one of those things where it's like, no, I mean, I don't think it's like a over-the-counter prescription at Walgreens type thing,
Sure.
but it's one of those,
The generic.
like, like, hey, this is a thing and it exists and everyone can have it, like, and then it's, is it legal or not? No, but everybody knows about it now and it's usable by everybody.
Interesting.
I can see that.
I think Bradley Cooper will make a cameo in this last episode.
Okay.
And then I think at the end, Brian goes away. I wrote dash. He leaves to an island or some shit, effectively retiring from the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Like
He
he
needs
just
some
like,
time to
my
himself.
job is done and I'm kind of like done with people.
Yeah.
And I think he just goes away, like kind of walks into obscurity, and that's
Yeah.
the end.
He packs up his Disney Scene It and a DVD player.
It's like, me and this portable DVD player are gonna get out of here.
Heads to the Lost Island. I'm gonna figure out this show.
Yeah, exactly. All right, should we dive into the finale?
Yeah.
In its note, it was two-parter finale. It was literally called Finale Part 1 and Finale Part 2. We'll be watching Finale Part 2 because it happened a week after Finale Part 1.
Cool.
And as everyone knows, we only watch shows that happen on the same day because that's how TV works.
Those are the rules.
Those are the rules. So we will be back after we finish Finale Part 2.
I'm not actually. I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
You gotta head out.
Me and Joe will tell you how it ends. We're done. We're limitless. We're limited.
We have no limits.
The limit does
The
not
limit
exist.
does not exist.
Got it.
Great.
So finale part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sans. Wait, which one's Sans?
He was like the main boss.
Oh, he's the bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Sans enacts a plan regarding Canada's Northwest Passage. As Boyle and Harris fail to save the diplomat, Sans orders assassinated. Using details taken from the killer's testimony, Brian and the CJC close in on Sans' real NZT lab. When the lab is raided, Brian learns Piper was there but is gone, while Sans is shot by Rebecca and sent to the hospital. After Brian returns to his parents' house, he learns Piper is there with a permanent NZT immunity shot, but that she has to keep moving so the cure doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Brian returns to the CJC with his own squad to tackle new cases. Not that never happened. While Senator Mora is still missing. Sequel movie?
Limitless
With Brad
2.
Pitt?
Unlimited.
Some limits.
So we got to break down how I'm not taking a pill that makes me the smartest person in the world, and how I gathered what the smartest people in the world's plan was to make a ton of money, and it seemed like the worst possible way, or like just so many steps and so not like it wasn't bulletproof. It was just like there was like a glacier or something in between Canada and Greenland,
Yeah.
right? And it was going to like break apart eventually, and then that would open up the Northwest Passage, so then people don't have to use the Panama Canal anymore.
Sure.
But that would obviously make it whoever owns the Northwest Passage, they would make a lot of money because then trade, whatever. So there's a meeting between Canada officials, Greenland officials, and the big bads, which they were called the Legion of Whom?
You like WHOM.
Yeah. So fuck
Just
you.
terrible. Just awful.
Their big bad plan was to like make sure this negotiations like looked like it was gonna go through, and then thwart it, so then the stock would like go crazy up and then like plummet or something. and then they could make a ton of money on that. So they could make a ton of money
They-
fast and not a ton of money slow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. They were just trying to get a bunch of money
Yeah.
and just be evil with money.
And
I
it was
was
like
like-
an Austin Powers, like Dr. Evil scheme.
And they made it, I feel like they made it pretty clear that most of the people within the evil group all were taking that NZT. They had an NZT lab.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They,
Right.
I mean, they captured, obviously, like, they didn't have, like, full immunity shot, but they had that Piper girl to try to get her,
Working for him.
to get one. So they had some immunity for some while, at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why was this their plan? It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem
Brilliant.
It just seems like too convoluted, for someone who's like, you're just so smart that was what you could. Are you just too overly confident in how smart you are now, or what?
It just wasn't a good plan even by like normal human standards.
Right.
Also, in the first episode, we're shown that like just by taking NZT, you can make boatloads in investment banking, like legally.
Yeah, it was like that guy. Like, yeah, all three of those dudes in the first episode, he was like, all three of these people's incomes went up like tenfold.
Yeah. So it seems like you could make a lot of money just by being NZT smart and like doing legal stuff.
Right.
Let alone like
no
having
murder
henchmen.
involved.
The minute you have to kidnap someone's like daughter and hold them hold that person hostage under like fear of death means that there are too many variables in your plan for it to be foolproof. And that was like 3 different people. It felt like they had Piper in custody, like hostage. They had that guy's like daughter as a hostage.
Yeah, the FBI guy's daughter.
Yeah. So like all of those things.
That's the difficulty of writing a show about like superhumanly smart people is that, man, it's hard to like be that smart all the time.
I mean, obviously it was like super complicated. The plan was super complicated.
Yeah, it was.
But it doesn't
A
mean it
little
was a
too
smart
complicated.
plan.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be hard to write a show like that because
you always have to be super smart.
and like there like this if you're super duper smart and you're really good at something and you could think like, oh, if you're super smart, you would understand the stock market and you could just do that stuff probably great. And then you'd make tons of money. Well, that's not sexy and that's not a good show.
Yeah.
But
Right.
So you cure a bunch of diseases and solve a bunch of math equations and win a bunch of
right.
Nobel Prizes for science and math. And
how is this guy so smart? And you're like, well, I do drugs.
Do pretty hard drugs.
mostly.
Have some rough mornings.
And I mean, we don't know this. We don't know anything about Piper. But so she was really smart or something.
I think she's just like a scientist, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what it seems
so like, how is this super smart girl who is or isn't taking NZT? I don't even know.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
But
She's more of a recreational NZT user.
But if she can figure out this like full vaccine that makes it so it never has side effects,
Then why can't this?
how can anybody on NZT figure it out?
Yeah.
How doesn't Bradley
Good
Cooper already know it,
point.
Yeah, or just take some NCT and then sit her in front of you and be like, "Tell me everything you know about this stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So there must be
Connect the
some
dots
limit
yourself.
to it.
It was just an
No,
overly.
it's called Limitless, Jimmy. There's no fucking limit.
Yeah,
just-
you're right, but
Like an overly convoluted plot. Really, the plot should have just been they're just trying to control the stockpile of NZT and not all this like political bullshit. Just
yeah.
they've got the recipe for the drug and they're trying to keep it away from everybody or something.
Finch was saying that that he could, like, even if the FBI like wasn't gonna let him back on the team, that he could like get it on the street.
Yeah.
So like it's out, that's floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Super smart druggies are out there in the alleyways or wherever.
Just doing math.
Yeah, doing hard
math.
blue math.
What are you doing? Doing some hard math.
Sky blue math.
Think there's some little blue pills?
I take the blue one.
Yeah, it was a bummer of a plot.
Yeah, it really was. And then
I'm gonna do something terrible.
I mean, did it really like make the story end or whatever? It just, I mean, it seemed like they were like, because this is called the finale, it seemed like they were done with the show, but there was no point at the end of this episode that I didn't think they thought, dear God, please pick us up for some more episodes.
Yeah, because they were building a new team at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they were like
I mean,
getting a super team.
It's no different.
Super squad.
It's not technically different as like in Step by Step, where they buy a new house and they move and the whole family's just going to kind of start anew. You know, it's like they're going to get a new team and they're going to keep on doing what they were doing, but in a slightly like Brian has more. He's in charge of people now.
Sure.
You know, it's the same. It's the same way. It's just kind of the way they conveyed it was a little like, oh, hopefully there's going to be more.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, because like more conventional ending would have been like what you described, where like Brian's done with this and he's out living in the woods because he doesn't want the responsibility of being everybody's NZT guru.
I'm just mad that nothing went the way I predicted, really.
Yeah, I'm mad that he didn't die, especially after watching this finale.
Yeah, it was not to say that the pilot was necessarily smart, but they really, showed us the capabilities of NZT, and like, it was fun to think about what this could do. And then by the time we get to this finale, it's just like really the only effect of the drug is that it like, staves off his like hangover.
Yeah,
Right.
it seemed like in this episode that the drug was more just like he was taking speed and not taking like a drug that made him super smart.
Yeah.
It literally seemed like he was just taking a drug that made him feel like he was on speed and didn't make him get a stomach ache.
And the one time they gave it to someone new, which was that guy who assassinated the there's a guy who assassinated the Greenland Secretary of State or whatever, but so he is privy to some of the bad guys' plans, so they gave him a pill so that he could remember stuff and like, figure out the mysteries for them. And they just like glossed over that. They're just like, yeah, we gave him a pill, and then he remembered everything, and he gave us all the information, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his daughter's back.
Yeah, and he's all good, so don't worry about that character anymore. He's fine.
Yeah, that was like, oh shoot, we wrote a couple other things, but there's only 7 minutes left in this episode, and that brings us to 9 minutes, so we got to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just makes me think that just like after the pilot, they just kind of de-emphasize, maybe not right away, but as the show goes on, they kind of de-emphasize the pill and NZT, and it's just a conventional like smart cop show.
They make it become a little bit too normal.
Yeah.
In a way, like it's just like, yeah, this is the drug that everyone uses now, and it's and by using it, you just become a regular cognitive person essentially.
Because most cop shows, like the main cop is already pretty smart, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how much smarter is Brian from Limitless than like I don't know any of these other CBS
right?
shows. Ice-T on Law and Order,
Right, but compared to like
SVU,
but compared to his cop friends, instead of just like solving a crime slightly quicker, he should be like building drones that can find stuff, or like doing other things and like consulting,
something a normal person can't do.
Well, just like a normal person, not even what a normal person can't do, just what the normal people around him can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like he can just like do what they can do like slightly faster, but he's not doing anything like exceptional. Or at least he didn't in this episode. In the first episode, he did.
He was absolutely exceptional.
He was absolutely exceptional in the first episode. He solved like a disease that his dad had.
I don't know, man. In this one, he was like finding where the mud from the boots, and then what the little flowers from the trees.
No, that was what the other guy remembered.
No, the other guy just remembered it, and they all just kind of understood that.
No, other guy remembered that he had mud on his boots that smelt like salty water. And so then he was like, Brian was like, and the only place where briny water happens in the Potomac River or whatever is in this spot. And this flower that he saw is from this weird bush or something.
Again, you don't need to be super smart to like come up with those
You
things.
just
It's
Google image that flower
Yeah.
and
where does this flower grow, huh?
Like, yeah, if it was like, if that flower was that rare in all of New York City,
yeah.
I bet if I Googled that, it'd be like, oh, yeah, the only place you can find this is in this park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, done, I did it. I didn't have to
Yeah.
take a fucking drug pill for that.
Right.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm limitless. Go fuck yourself.
He doesn't even get high off the drug anymore. It just keeps him sane.
I mean, did he ever get, they never got, I mean, in this one, he was like hallucinating and stuff.
Yeah.
So like he like really was getting high.
Mm-hmm.
In the first one, he wasn't like high. He
No,
was
he
just
wasn't hallucinating at all.
he was just smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wanted to read. It was a drug that made him want to read. You know.
Was it like the first scene in this episode when he's hallucinating some sort of weird like comic book bad guy like scenario where they're
That was-
inside of a volcano?
That
or
was the
something?
beginning of this episode.
And you weren't really sure at first if it was
Yeah, right
really
away-
happening
yeah.
or not.
Yeah, he kept imagining the Legion of Whom as people in like spandex W like superhero
Yeah.
outfits in the middle of a volcano.
Yeah.
And then he tried to like think of himself like as a superhero.
Yeah.
And then he kept saying
yeah.
different. He called himself like Brandon Poole or Brian Poole
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and Wolver Ryan, or
Right.
something like that.
The Brunisher.
The Brunisher.
The Brunisher was his best idea.
And
he
yeah,
thought.
and he literally said the Brunisher. That's not bad. And I was like, that's terrible.
That's terrible. He's super smart. Like, how about Bryclops?
That's the only one that made me. That's the only one that made me laugh. You know.
5 seconds to get me to Bryclops.
Oh man. You know what I think? I think
Guys have been taking drugs.
oh man, I knew it. I think
Well,
you think-
luckily I have these Rubik's cubes for you to solve.
juggle and solve these Rubik's cubes.
That's how he can do 3. He juggles them
for
while
sure.
doing it.
Oh, you never seen anyone? You never seen anyone juggle and solve Rubik's cubes?
No, I don't spend my day at the circus, Jimmy.
You spend all day watching YouTube. That's exactly the same
Yeah,
thing.
You showed us a bird eating a deer or something.
That's important. That's science.
A deer eating
for
a bird, I guess.
research.
Let's watch it again.
That was for research. Again, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Bradley Cooper just like wrote the screenplay for this whole thing and like just like on a high weekend at his cabin, you know, like.
He just plowed through 22 episodes. and
Like it
just
says
"This is
someone
it."
else is the like creator and writer and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's just Bradley Cooper. Like, yeah, it's just his ghostwriting name.
He's like, guys, I got an idea. Let's take NZT this weekend,
Legion of Whom.
and we're gonna totally come up with this.
I'm a
Let's-
genius.
Guys, let's do some heavy math.
Yeah. Yeah, the like superhero like scenes in this show is like I think it was meant to be corny and weird, but it was like just it immediately jumped into a show I did not want to watch.
Yeah, it got. I wonder. My biggest thought about the show is when does it turn like that?
Uh-huh.
Because I have high hopes of like watching like. I mean, I don't know why I'm comparing it to like X-Files and like Fringe, because it just has the ability for him to like come up with wacky
some
things.
sci-fi,
It's
yeah.
sci-fi stuff like that. Even if the things are normal. I mean, Fringe's whole thing was that like it was like it's X-Files except everything is actually explainable and not aliens and not monsters
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's Canadians instead.
and like so like that's like the whole thing about Fringe.
Okay.
And so this is just like not quite that.
Mm-hmm.
And Fringe was good for like a season or two.
Yeah.
I think it was like 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just was like, God, you fucking lost me. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're just getting stupid now.
It's ridiculous.
So I'm wondering where this fringed
Got
out.
stupid.
You know?
Probably about
The
the
new
point,
term. When did it fringe out?
Probably about the point where they also decided to cancel it. They're just like, all right, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah, probably episode 2.
Yeah, I could just see this show having a lot of promise in the beginning and then quickly running out of NZT and just curling up into a ball and having NZT hangover once they're out of good ideas.
Let's see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. Well, you gonna watch more of this show, Joe?
Nah, like hard pass.
I could.
I might be interested to watch the movie.
I kind of want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
But that's got Bradley Cooper in it.
Yeah.
And like in a scale of like Brian to like hot dude, like Bradley Cooper's got like +10 on that guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bradley Cooper's a handsome man.
I mean,
And a handsome raccoon.
like, let me just pitch. Let me just picture this movie, like just 90 minutes of Bradley Cooper being smart and like saying smart things.
Yeah. Wonder who he gets this. who do you think he smooches in that movie? Who's this smoocher?
I didn't recognize her.
Jennifer Lawrence.
No, it's not. Not the Silver Linings Playbook.
Lady Gaga.
Oh, Lady Gaga. Wait, are we talking about A Star Wars is Born?
We're talking about Born, a Star Wars story.
The Born Identity Star Wars story. Starring Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I'm into it. Hey, let's do some prediction watch 2018.
Cool.
I'll do mine really quick. I got 0 points.
No, you got what? Didn't you have a prediction about like NZT's readily available?
Oh, I mean, okay, so I got he was dating Rebecca, the FBI lady.
Yeah.
Not true. And I did say NZT's like released to the public. And I mean, I guess there is like it is out and about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you going to give me that point?
Yeah, I think that's the point.
All right,
I
I'll
give you
take
that point because Brian was like, I could get this outside of.
it. Yeah. Okay. So it is. Yeah, it's just like weed now. Or speed. Or maths. Bradley Cooper cameo? Nope. They did talk about him, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, he was not in this episode.
I'm looking it up. I don't think he was in a single episode past one.
I didn't think he would be, but you know, if he was going to be in another one, it would have been the finale.
Mhm.
I kind of thought. And then Brian goes away, and he doesn't. He gets his own team.
Yeah.
Son of a
Don't know.
bitch.
So he Mark Wahlberg. Was Mark Wahlberg in any more of Entourage?
I don't know.
This show is actually amazingly similar for me to Entourage as far as my feelings.
Your vibes.
I mean, there was a bunch of bros. There was a bunch of drugs in Entourage.
Yeah.
I mean, I legit had 0 because I said Brian is clean shaven.
Nope.
Rebecca's popping the pills.
Nope.
There's a plot to assassinate Bradley Cooper.
He's missing.
Yeah, and they said Limitless, which they said limit.
You were
But-
like, she said limit, and I was like, that's not what you said.
They didn't say Limitless.
So close.
I know.
0.25.
Is that like a mercy 0.25?
Yeah, it was just a percentage of the word was said. That's all.
Well, I mean, limit is
really,
6
it
letters.
should be more like
left.
more like 6.
0.6 points. You got 0.6 points.
Yeah.
Great.
You got 0.6 of the whole 100% of the
Yeah,
word limitless.
partial credit.
So 0.6, Joe. Way to go.
That's still an F, right? What's
I mean, limit has 5 letters, so whatever. It's fine.
Oh,
right?
I was thinking it had 6
limit
plus 4.
less.
So you got
Limmit.
you got 5 out of 9.
Yeah,
Great. All the points then.
which is like 60-some%, right?
Yeah, something.
I'm still gonna just give you 0.6. So whatever. Move on.
Okay. Not banging. Rebecca and Brian are not banging. Finch did not die. There was no Brad. And then the big bad was not a like deformed Patrick Stewart in a wheelchair.
That would have been so good.
He was bald though. 0.25?
Nah, no one gets points for being bald.
Aww.
So that seems like a big old turd on your face.
I got a 1. I got no Bradley.
Yeah. All right. One turd on your face.
Yeah, one nice round turd.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be interested. Like if it was a Saturday like afternoon and Limitless the movie came on, I probably wouldn't turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I combed through the episode titles of this TV show and one looked fun, maybe I'd watch that one. You know, but
Like the Rubik's Cube one?
I just think I just understand that this show's gonna let me down. You know, so why start it?
Yeah, because you've seen the finale. You know it will.
Yeah, it seems like a hard letdown. This is not my new Frasier. I'm gonna describe that right now. Not my new Frasier. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this week's glorious episode.
We did it.
Well, I mean, now we know. Now we know what Limitless is about.
Hey, no, it had a.
It's true.
It had me very interested right away, and then it stopped interesting me. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of First and Last. We're gonna be back next week with some other dumb show, but until then, we've got 64 other ones for you to listen to. A lot of blank 5 stars on an iTunes or whatever for you to rate us. Fill all of them in. Say we did good. Thumbs up. And thank you, Josh, Jimmy, and Joe, for making our ears holes happy.
Make us each personally.
Yep, that'd be great. All right, well, until next week, stay safe and only pop clear pills that promise you limitless powers. No other. Don't do the blue maths. Okay?
I do like that they were clear pills. Those like gel caps.
Yeah, they were fun. Okay, well, have a good week. Bye.
Yeah, bye.